Hello everyone, and welcome to Efficient Gaming. Today we're covering the Witcher Monster Slayer again, and we are asking the question, does Dawnbringer really give 10% damage increase to all attack types? Of course, we're going to be testing this and giving our results at the end, so let's see what we find out. Okay, so we've got a little bit of gameplay footage here where I was doing my testing. So we've just found a succubus, which is weak to the steel swords that we're going to be using. Although in hindsight, I probably should have used something that was not weak to steel because it would have made the maths at the end easier. But anyway, we're just doing a couple of basic attacks. We do a fast attack, a strong attack. We're parrying, obviously, although we're not doing any damage calculations on that. We're doing one of each type of the signs just to see the damage that we're going to get from those in a standard base scenario. So the first encounter I've got with this succubus, we're using just a standard steel sword, although technically we're using the Manticore steel sword, but it doesn't have any damage boosts to it. So for the effect of this, it doesn't make any difference. And now we're going to be using Dawnbringer. So as you can see already, we're noticing higher numbers on both the strong and the fast attack that we've already done. And in a minute we're going to cast our first sign, and yeah, we've got much higher damage on that as well. So far everything we've tried, it has increased the damage on. And that's our Ard spell as well. Now it'd be very interesting to see if it does do it on the Quen spell here, which it looks like it did, because we got more damage reflection from that, just with our 10% extra bonus, which is quite cool to see. So that's very interesting. And we'll just finish it off there, because we all need the experience from killing monsters. Okay, so let's check out the numbers that we observed in those two encounters that we had with the succubus. In the middle two columns we've got versus succubus with a normal steel sword. In our case it was Manticore, but it works exactly the same damage type as a normal steel sword. We've got the versus succubus with Dawnbringer, so we've got the changed results there. We've got the percentage increase over standard, which I will tell you that I worked that out by taking the number that we got with Dawnbringer, subtracting the number that we got with the fighting it with the normal steel sword, and then I divided that difference. So for example, in the first one that would be a difference of 4 out of the original 57 to give us our percentage increase over the standard sword. Now, because the numbers that I got for these percentages didn't work out to exactly 10%, I thought about how and why this might not happen, and we actually did some more numbers and worked out the normal, and this is our first column, the normal non-boosted damage before type bonuses or skill bonuses. So that means the succubus was weak to our steel sword, which means it was taking extra damage from that. And of course, in the first damage skill tree, where you get to add damage to both your fast and strong attacks, those attacks are boosted because of that damage as well. So when we look at the increase over non-boosted or standard attacks, we get a much closer to the 10% that the sword suggests that it is doing. Now I'll put the differences from 10% here down to number rounding, because the numbers that are shown to us in the game text aren't necessarily exactly the same numbers as what is going on in the background behind the scenes. We're just given a basic rounded up integer or rounded down integer to the nearest whole number, whereas the attacks might be doing points more damage, like 0.1 of a damage more than what they're actually doing, which accumulates over a longer period. But we don't get to see that. We're only given the raw integers, so that's the numbers that I've worked with, which is probably why we've got a small deviation from exactly 10%. So when we run through these numbers, for a fast attack, a non-boosted damage for this would be 37. The damage that we did with a normal steel sword against the succubus was 57 because of our extra bonuses and because it's weak to it. And versus succubus with Dawnbringer we got 61. So overall we're only doing 4 more damage than a normal sword at this level, which only equates to a 7% actual increase. Now, the reason that we're seeing a difference here is again because we had the boosts on that. So the 10% damage that it's saying on the sword that it increases is always base damage. And if you have a look in that far right column over there, that is how we have worked that out. So similarly for a strong attack, we are doing only 6% extra damage. When we look at things like the Igni and the Quen block, these numbers are a lot closer to our 10% and don't change in the standard versus the non-boosted because versus our succubus, these were not boosted. So we were doing regular damage with Igni and we were doing regular damage with our Quen block, or the reflection damage from Quen. Ard is a different case. We've only got a 7% damage increase over the standard sword because we are already doing extra bonus damage from the fact that succubuses are weak to kinetic damage. But again, if you look at the standard damage that we would have dealt if the succubus was not weak to it, which is 235, it is a 9.7% increase over that. And again, this is just down to number rounding. It's probably exactly 10% behind the scenes. Again, the difference in between a perfect crit for the succubus is down to the fact that the succubus is weak to our steel sword, and I've got 2% extra damage from skills that critical hits do. So when we take those back away, we get 225 is the standard damage without the boosts and without the weapon proficiency. And again, if we look at the increase over the non-boosted standard damage, it is back to 10%. So unfortunately we've gotten to the end and we've gotten to another question where the answer is both yes and no. Yes, Dawnbringer does increase damage by 10% on all types of damage, or at the very least all types of damage that we tested. I very much expect that this would be the same for your perfect block reflection damage, just like it worked on the Quen block reflection damage, as well as things like bombs and any other damage types that may be available in the game. We tested enough damage types that I think it's safe to say that it's going to work on all of them, but it's only 10% of the base, not 10% of what you're actually previously doing before you apply the 10% on the sword. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that. I think coming up I might do a comparison in DPS in between Melith and Dawnbringer just to see if one or the other has more DPS than the other. It's going to be a hard test to do because of course Melith is a silver sword and Dawnbringer is a steel sword, but we'll compare them against things that they're actually strong against rather than against the things that they're each weak against. The numbers will pretty much add up similarly anyway. But again, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you all for watching and thanks for your continued support of the channel. The best way to support us would be to hit that subscribe button, which is always in the lower right hand corner of the video, and I've got a big massive one in the center of the screen right now. You'll see on the left one of the videos that I think you'll enjoy most, and on the right you'll see a playlist relating to whatever video series that you're currently watching. Subscribes help our channel the most, as well as interacting with each video, for example commenting below, letting me know your thoughts and what you might want to see next. Please make sure to subscribe as I make a lot of content and I'm sure you'll find quite a lot of that content interesting to you. But anyway, thanks for watching, have a great day and we'll catch you later. Bye!